We cannot change anything until we accept it. Condemnation does not liberate, it oppresses. Knowing your own darkness is the best method for dealing with the darknesses of other people. Your vision will become clear only when you can look into your own heart. Who looks outside, dreams. Who looks inside, awakes. Everything that irritates us about others can lead us to an understanding of ourselves. Even a happy life cannot be without a measure of darkness, and the word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. It is far better take things as they come along with patience and equanimity. As far as we can discern, the sole purpose of human existence is to kindle a light in the darkness of mere being. A particularly beautiful woman is a source of terror. As a rule, a beautiful woman is a terrible disappointment. In all chaos there is a cosmos, in all disorder a secret order. The healthy man does not torture others, generally it is the tortured who turn into torturers. Where love rules, there is no will to power, and where power predominates, there love is lacking. The one is the shadow of the other. The word happy would lose its meaning if it were not balanced by sadness. The meeting of two personalities is like the contact of two chemical substances. If there is any reaction, both are transformed. Who has fully realized that history is not contained in thick books but lives in our very blood? There is no coming to consciousness without pain. The creation of something new is not accomplished by the intellect but by the play instinct acting from inner necessity. The creative mind plays with the objects it loves. It all depends on how we look at things, and not how they are in themselves. We are born at a given moment, in a given place and, like vintage years of wine, we have the qualities of the year and of the season of which we are born. Astrology does not lay claim to anything more. The pendulum of the mind alternates between sense and nonsense, not between right and wrong. Every form of addiction is bad, no matter whether the narcotic be alcohol or morphine or idealism. For a young person, it is almost a sin, or at least a danger, to be too preoccupied with himself, but for the aging person, it is a duty and a necessity to devote serious attention to himself. When an inner situation is not made conscious, it appears outside as fate. Through pride we are ever deceiving ourselves. But deep down below the surface of the average conscience a still, small voice says to us, something is out of tune. Children are educated by what the grown-up is and not by his talk. If there is anything that we wish to change in the child, we should first examine it and see whether it is not something that could better be changed in ourselves. The greatest and most important problems of life are all fundamentally insoluble. They can never be solved but only outgrown. The shoe that fits one person pinches another. There is no recipe for living that suits all cases. Knowledge rests not upon truth alone, but upon error also. The collective unconscious consists of the sum of the instincts and their correlates, the archetypes. Just as everybody possesses instincts, So he also possesses a stock of archetypal images. A man who has not passed through the inferno of his passions has never overcome them. There is no such thing as a pure introvert or extrovert. Such a person would be in the lunatic asylum. The least of things with a meaning is worth more in life than the greatest of things without it. We should not pretend to understand the world only by the intellect. The judgment of the intellect is only part of the truth. There is no birth of consciousness without pain. The most intense conflicts, if overcome, leave behind a sense of security and calm that is not easily disturbed. It is just these intense conflicts and their conflagration which are needed to produce valuable and lasting results. The debt we owe to the play of imagination is incalculable. The word belief is a difficult thing for me. I don't believe. I must have a reason for a certain hypothesis. Either I know a thing, and then I know it, I don't need to believe it. Neurosis is always a substitute for legitimate suffering. If one does not understand a person, one tends to regard him as a fool. Dreams are the guiding words of the soul. Why should I henceforth not love my dreams and not make their riddling images into objects of my daily consideration? Follow that will and that way which experience confirms to be your own. Great talents are the most lovely and often the most dangerous fruits on the tree of humanity. They hang upon the most slender twigs that are easily snapped off. It is a fact that cannot be denied. The wickedness of others becomes our own wickedness because it kindles something evil in our own hearts.